welcome to I Love You So Much. My name is Reed Fish. I'm here with my good friend.
Where are
Tyler
we?
Levine. Mm-hmm. We are in a different, we're in all things comedy today.
Oh my God, I like it in here.
And it's great because we're two divorced dads getting better.
We are.
So Tyler, you got a confession today?
Yeah, I've been struggling a little bit to find a confession for today, but I think if I'm going to be totally honest, which is the goal, I've been like pretty deeply depressed. I want to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I do put a lot forward. You know, my representative, Tyler's representative, is always on display. But like in my heart of hearts and in my life, I've been really depressed, and I've had to like up my medication on. I was microdosing Zoloft. We can get into medications later if we want. But I take a microdose of a lot of things. I see a pharmacogenetic psychiatrist, and she's very into like everything kind of works in conjunction with one another. You know, not one dosage is right for one person.
Interesting.
So I upped my microdose of Zoloft from 12.5 milligrams to 25 milligrams, which is still tiny. Most people take like 200. But there's something about admitting that you're depressed that took me years and years to do. I was okay with saying I had anxiety. I was okay with saying that I'm, you know, all my other quirks and things, but depression was always this thing that I was like, I can't, that's not me. That's not me. But my experience in life was very much that of a depressed person.
Yeah.
I couldn't really feel joy. I couldn't, you know, anyway. So I've been getting better. And then I had a real backslide the last couple of weeks, and I felt really deeply depressed. And I've been like, dealing with that, and it's seeping into everything. It's seeping into with how I felt about coming here today. It's seeping into like how I feel about like everything, from how my children look at me to like my relationship with my partner. And then there's all these external things, these stressors, like the industry is like collapsing, and I'm not working, and I'm, you know, the podcast isn't catching on the way that we'd hoped it would, even though I love the podcast.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my confession is that I came here today sort of like feeling like, okay, I got to like pull up, you know, my bootstraps and like put on a good face, but I'm just going to maybe not. I'm going to try to just be like where I am today.
Do you think it's coincided with actually doing this podcast?
No.
Like talking, okay. So it's not.
No, the podcast is not
driving
me into a nosedive. No, I really like the podcast. The podcast is like therapeutic in its own way for me. Yeah, like I've been down, man, like deep in my core, I've been feeling like just down, just really blue. I don't know. Does anyone else have depression?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, when you're in it, you're like, holy shit, man. Like everything feels futile right now. And like, I'm sort of looking for all these things that used to give me comfort, like food or, you know, alcohol or whatever. And it just, it's like, it doesn't scratch the itch. I'm still just in this like kind of chasm where I'm like, ugh. And the exterior is getting exhausting, you know, like I feel like I want to sleep a lot.
So I have been sleeping a lot. So.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Yeah.
I haven't been pretending not to. I've just been straight up sleeping.
Well, good.
Which is not, no, it's not good.
Doesn't make you feel better, does it? No, even sleep doesn't work.
No, it's not good. Because then I'm just sleeping.
Is that why you were texting at 1:45 last night?
Probably. Thank you, Reed.
Right. Well, so, and our guest today is Stella Young, who actually, so it's a little bit different, right? Stella normally is off camera.
Yeah.
And she is our producer. But and I'll get to my confession in a minute. But the biggest question we've had on the podcast that has been directed at me is, who is that woman who keeps talking?
Yeah, this disembodied voice. This is
and
her.
It's Stella. So we decided, let's have her on, because Stella is actually a pretty interesting person, and we thought it would be really good to have an episode with her.
Yeah.
Well, and beyond the fact that you're pretty interesting, you're the reason.
I'm going to be dwelling on the pretty for the rest of the day.
You're the reason we're here. You know, like you believed in us and you put us on, and like,
and Guy,
of course. But I mean, on camera right here.
Right.
We'll get to Guy. We'll get Guy in the hot seat.
Now,
eventually.
Guy's producing from the outside today.
But yeah, we owe a lot to you, and we've gotten to know each other personally to a degree, and I think that you're like a perfect guest for this show.
Yeah,
you have so many problems.
Yeah,
always full of problems. The problems never end.
Yeah. No, I just feel like we will relate on a lot of levels.
Yeah, you know? I mean, I first and foremost love these two guys and love what they're doing. As a millennial who's spent my life around toxic masculinity and didn't even really know what it was until recently, and just the idea of normalizing you guys having feelings and talking about your feelings and being with your friends and talking about girls and all this stuff.
We should talk about girls more.
Yeah, sure. But no, just this idea that like, it's also understanding the other side rather than just being like, you guys are dicks, being like, why are you dicks?
Yeah,
you know?
right. Why?
Where did this come from?
We will establish you are dicks, but let's get to the bottom of why.
Well, that is true. There's like the accountability portion of the show. Totally. Like, I don't claim that I'm never a dick or that I've never been like, part of the problem, now it's about, what do we do next?
Well, next is my confession. I'm going to confess. And I want to see, I wonder if this plays into what you're going through a little bit, because this one is very broad. Everyone's going to be able to relate to this. And it's very, I was sheepish about it after hearing yours, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Right. I noticed that I've been on my phone too much.
Oh my God.
And I think that's bad. Sometimes I'll notice that I get lost in my phone when my daughter's around, and and then it's very easy to be like, oh, come on, what are you doing? You got to be present for her. And she just wants to look at her screen anyway, and so you're trying to set a good example. But then I noticed, once my daughter leaves, I have a week to myself, right, at my place. And then I'm like, why did I just spend an hour and a half looking at my phone? And it just like the days just pass, the time just passes. And it's not like I'm sitting there like even like doom scrolling. I've certainly done that in my life, but even just like looking at, realizing, I'm looking at Instagram, I'm looking at Facebook, and it's like all this shit is like, these are not even people I know posting this stuff. This is all just algorithm stuff. And it's like, why am I getting caught up watching these stupid videos? I'm a little frustrated by it because I feel like part of being on the show is like, we are being more active on social media. We're trying to grow our audience. I'm managing my account, but we're both in on the podcast account. And it's like that, then all of a sudden it feels like, well, I got to do that. Right. And so then you're in the social media, and then it just like goes and goes and goes and goes. And I don't like it. Yeah. Except I do like it.
That's the problem.
There's the rub.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that I contemplated confessing today, was like the time, the amount of screen time I'm putting in. Yeah. And like the contribution to my depression is like, it's like, it's not a coincidence, you know? And like you saying days go by, like when I have a week without my kids, I'm like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then I don't. I sit there on my phone and I think about things I want to do, but then I'm back on my phone. And again, it's not just Instagram. It's like, it's not just this job. It's like everything. There's any way you want to procrastinate or kill time is right there in your hand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's brutal, man. And it's making me feel like a head full of noise, you know?
Yeah. Well, your confessions go together because in a sweet way. Yeah. Because you're depressed. Yeah. And you're doing something that helps depression.
Yeah.
For like 5 seconds.
That feeds depression.
Well,
the dopamine addiction.
The dopamine, it makes you happy for a second because you see a like or something and you're like, ooh, and then it goes away. So.
Yeah. Right. Well, that is the thing. Now having the podcast account, we get a lot of likes there. And normally, like, I'm not a big social media poster in like real life. And so, and even when I do, it gets like 4 likes or whatever. But now it's like, shit, every time I post something, I was, oh man, it's just like, it's a barrage.
And then you like go down a road and you're like, who's bam, 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 65. And then you look at their profile. Yeah. Just me. Okay.
Yeah. I love bam, 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 65.
Yeah. And then you just start going down a rabbit hole and then you're like, it's 2 hours that I've been doing this.
Yeah. And then I opened up my TikTok account. I went back on Facebook because I'm trying to promote the thing. And like, man, TikTok is like insane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See,
that's
I don't even
what
have
insanity looks like.
Saying, here you go. But this is what you're going to be addicted to now.
Yeah.
It's rapid fire. Like it feels like I can't keep up. My brain is
and
like,
also you can't stay away. Yeah.
So Stella, you have a confession?
Oh, mine's so not related to any of these things.
Well,
but
that's fine.
It's really embarrassing. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it. I'm proudly 36 years old. Thank you so much. I'm starting to, I have grays like in my hair. I was starting to get, Polly from The Sopranos.
Yeah.
The character.
Polly Walnuts. That's why I've been calling myself that for years.
I have been starting to get grays on the side, like Polly, like Polly Walnuts. I would look in the mirror and I'd be like, I look like Polly Walnuts. Cool. And my hair appointment wasn't for a while. So I took, in a manic moment, some gardening tools.
Whoa.
Gardening tools.
Where's this going?
And I cut my own grays out.
You just cut the grays out.
I just straight up cut them out. Yeah.
Wait, you use gardening tools instead of like...
not gardening. I like gardening scissors. I don't know.
Yeah.
Regular scissors. Okay. I don't know why I called them shears. I think I was trying to find the word shear. Shears. And I was looking in, and then I was like, it's just like a couple. And then it was not just a couple. It was
went down a
rabbit hole. And then I went to the hairdresser, and I had like my little hairs sticking up in the middle, and like kind of at first pretended that they weren't there. And I was like, yeah. What's up? And she's like, what happened?
Yeah.
And I had to tell her, and it was deeply embarrassing. But she laughed so hard, and she's
This
like,
is your second confession then about this.
What?
You had to confess to your stylist as well.
Yes, but I wasn't on a podcast.
Right.
Right.
That was just between the two of you.
Yeah. And then she told everybody in the salon because everyone knew about it. And you can kind of still see it. There's like little like, don't look too hard, but
Zoom in on this?
Yeah.
Zoom in on this.
There's these like little things sticking out. And I was just like, why didn't there's other ways I could have dyed it. Why do I hate myself so much that I can't handle like a little bit of gray in my hair? I don't know.
Is that self-hate though, not wanting gray? I mean, I don't know that. I mean,
I think
plenty of people dye their hair.
Yeah, I don't know. But it was
One
psychotic.
of the hosts on the show might dye their hair.
What?
One of the hosts of the show, I think, dyes their hair. It's me.
Oh, I don't dye my hair. No.
See, I would never know. You know what I mean? But I just...
Well, right, because I pay someone a lot of money. And it looks very natural.
You get it done professionally.
Of course.
I now do that too, but it's like... You know, you don't want time. The passage of time is complicated. You don't want it to affect you, but it does affect me in my hair.
Yeah, it's like a visual representation of the passage of time.
Exactly.
I've really rationalized it for myself.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not about it's just purely vanity. Yeah. It's not, because I think as a guy, it's like, oh man, you're a silver fox or whatever, right? You can get away with it. It's just like where my gray is, and with the hairstyle I have, it just looks like I have no hair on my sides, and it just doesn't look good. Like I need to be a little more gray before I can let it go.
Yeah.
You know, and then
I have that. It looks like my hairline on the sides is receding.
Yeah.
Which is not
the case. And so it's just like, you know, and then of course, you know, my stylist is like, oh, let me do a little thing. And then it was like, oh, well, that looks good.
Men have a complex relationship with hair because when you don't have hair, it sucks. I feel like it's like having a small penis. Yeah. It's just like
it's
fucked.
Like it's an immediate, it's just like it just takes away your virility somehow.
But you did say silver fox, and women are not called silver.
No, absolutely not.
I want to say something.
Okay.
And this is
You're in the right place for it.
This is a confession of mine as well. I have always found gray, silver, white hair on women very attractive. No, I'm not kidding. People are like, who's your celebrity crush? I'm like, Helen Mirren. Angelica Houston. I'm not kidding. I have and my ex-wife, my partner now, whenever they start going gray, I'm like, I like it. And they won't listen to me because it's their own choice and it's their own belief, limiting belief maybe. But I'm like, I think it's foxy, man. I think it's hot. Like, be your age. I think I like it.
Yeah.
I've leaned into my grays, which may be why I'm not working. But I'm like, I like it, man. I think it looks good on women. And I think there was a bit of a movement for a minute there with women.
Yeah, and especially there still is. There's people I know. I mean, my ex let hers go, and it looks great.
I think it looks awesome. And I think it's just a matter of like, everyone's sort of getting cool with it. You know what I mean? Like,
you know, you would want like a more fun hairstyle if you let it go gray as a woman. Like having the long, you know, kind of old school grandma gray hair is. Do you go for that? Or you like?
I like it all. I don't care what.
You like a spike.
I know. I maybe not love that look in general, but I want to ask you about because you said why do I hate myself so much? And Reed. Obviously a lovely response. Like, why is that hate? That's Reed's go-to. Like, is that really what's happening? But I can relate. You're like, you look in the mirror and you feel this deep sort of like repulsion about yourself.
Oh yeah.
Is that isolated to your grays, or you have that with a lot of things?
It's everything. Yeah? No. It's everything.
Let's start with the grays. Like what
I think for that's just like a vulnerability thing. It's like there's truly nothing you can do about time and age, and it's the one thing that I can't outsmart or can't out talk or whatever.
Maybe that's why you hate it so much.
Maybe. Yeah. There's not a lot of control there.
Yeah.
I like to control things. So I think, I don't know. It is also self-hate too, though. And because there's times when I look at myself and I'm like, you can't see those grays or it's pretty cool to look like Polly Walnuts.
Yeah, man. That'd be a great nickname. I'm gonna start calling you Walnuts now. Walnuts.
And then sometimes I look and I'm like, I'm disgusting piece of,
I flip flop like that too, man. I've worked really hard on my appearance in the last while. Again, I'd love to say it's not vanity, but it partially is, of course. Yeah. But I have days where I look in the mirror and I'm like, you fat piece of shit.
Disgusting.
You're gross, man. And it doesn't matter what anybody says or what. Well, what? I hate that. Why?
Well, you can't watch the show.
No, I don't like looking
That's
at
the
myself.
thing is, I've watched every episode that we've done, and I'll watch it before it comes out. But then you're like, I think you listen to it.
I have listened to a few of them, because I don't have to look at myself. But
because you notice things, you obsess over something that on your...
and it's things that I can't control.
Right.
Like it's things like the way I've gesticulated my whole life. I'm like, why did you move your hand that way? Like when you said that thing, and why do you? My throat clearing, like all this stuff. Where I'm like, I just annoy myself. I look at myself and I'm like, oh, shut up, man. Yeah, not when I'm acting though. Oddly enough, I can watch myself in an edited piece and be like, I did a good job of that. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this on our episode.
So interesting.
Well, yeah, and I just watched an episode that the two of us did, just the two of us last night, and and now I'm conscious. Right now, I'm talking, and this is what I'm doing with my hand. Yeah. I notice I always do this, and it's like, that's weird, Reed. Right. And then that's not. And you're like, okay, stick the chin out more. You just like really. I'm dissecting how I look, and it's like, oh, my shirt was bunched up in a weird way, and like
shit that you can't. Well, I mean, you can control the shirt bunching, but that's what I mean. I start looking at all the things that are like just inherently me that I don't like. And I'm like, I can't adjust that.
Yeah. The only thing that makes me feel better is as a producer, like I have had the most beautiful women come in and they're all the same. Like,
everyone's neurotic. Yeah.
Everyone's neurotic. They're like, I look so disgusting. It's like Maria Menounos, like one of the most beautiful women. And I'm like, I literally went up to her when I met her and I was like, you're so beautiful. It like fell out of my mouth. Like people who come in, Kalila, Esther, like everybody who comes in, beautiful, and they all hate themselves. Yeah. So that makes me feel like a tad better. Not great.
You're in a good club.
Well, just like we're all like that. Like it doesn't matter.
Well, are you comfortable in front of the camera? I mean, you're like a behind the scenes person.
I used to really not be. In fact, the last time I was for a Patreon episode and I was violently shaking the entire time. I'm okay with it. I have some, I don't know. It's fine.
You nervous today?
I'm a little nervous, but not like super nervous today. I didn't have a bunch of coffee, even though there's a coffee right there. But like I have trouble with like eye contact. I used to not be able to pick up the phone. I used to be so shy. I couldn't like enter a room.
Yeah.
So it is a little unnerving, but then you just have to be like, you're just talking, man, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and all the tricks that you tell us. You have to tell
exactly. So
I do want to talk about that. I think that's one of the things I was intrigued with was that you came to my house last week.
Yeah.
The week before.
Oh gosh, yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not going to bust anything open
no,
here,
you
but
totally
like,
can.
You opened up to me and read about a lot of things. I'm not going to say exactly what, but the thing that I thought was the most endearing was that you were like, I shake a lot. I have a lot of issues with anxiety, and you are going through some PTSD symptoms from trauma you've had in your life. And like, I just thought it was like super
interesting.
Well, but also like really brave. You like sat down and you opened up a line of discussion with Reed and I personally. Yeah. That I was like, I'm going to drag that into the show.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but I just like,
no, it's fine. It's good.
And you seemed a little uncomfortable too about it. Like not like I didn't feel like we were dragging it out of you, but it definitely like you could kind of see in your body that it made you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you were doing it anyway, which was the fascinating thing.
I think that's why I was doing it. Yeah. It's just like there's been a lot of my life that I've suppressed, a lot of the trauma that happened when I was a kid that I haven't talked about openly, and now finally it's opening up through therapy and everything, and the things that trigger me. And instead of getting shaky and not really knowing why I was shaky, but now being like, why are you shaky? And why can't you make eye contact with people? And why can't
just being curious about it instead of like afraid of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Or hiding from it or being mean about it. Just being like, why are you like this? How did this happen?
Well, what kind of steps have you taken, just even in the eye contact thing? Because like, like you do make eye contact. Like it's furtive. but it's there.
Don't make me make eye contact.
No. I'm not going to stare you in the eyes.
No.
But I do think that like it's obviously I can see that you're a functioning human being in the world.
Yeah.
You've put a really good representative
veneer
forward. Well, yeah, but like we're pushing past that a little bit. But like, what steps do you take like in your body to just like make yourself make eye contact?
I mean, if you watch me on Trash Tuesday, which I also produce, you can see a lot of times I'll go on like some kind of rant and my eyes will be closed the whole time. And I think it's a thing where I just need to be concentrating. And if I have my eyes open, I get too distracted. I don't know if that's ADHD or whatever. To answer your question, I've done nothing to help
You're just
out
like, look at them.
my eye contact. But when I was a kid, like I I would like stare at the wall when I would be in a room. Like I was a little creepy kid. Yeah. And if anyone ever talked to me, like especially I was afraid of dads. Dads would really scare me. So I'd go completely mute if I was around like dads.
Dad. Like
it's nice that you're producing a dad's podcast now.
Well, it's exposure therapy.
You're using us. I
guess I just didn't really realize how much it manifested in my body physically until I was older. So, and it's embarrassing.
I guess. I mean, it's again though, we're in good company. Like I have the same thing. Like I know that I seem very confident, but there's a deep seated fear of what someone's going to see if they look in my eyes for too long. And I'm like, whoa. I mean, I guess it's a well of insecurities and but that feeling. I mean, looking into someone's eyes is like very intimate and vulnerable. And if you hold eye contact for long enough,
now we're talking about it and I'm panicking.
But I mean, that's what you're doing. But that feeling of my partner now, we can sit in silence and stare each other in the eyes, and it's like get lost in these little windows, and just not say anything for like 10 minutes. We did it as an experiment a couple times.
Whoa.
And I've never done that with anybody. That's and you go through, it's like being in a silent retreat.
What do you mean windows? I would have a panic attack, by the way.
Yeah, little windows. Like she can look into these eyes and see everything. Like I know my eyes betray me. They give everything away. And I'm like, but then it's like, I'm safe enough with someone. I'm like, look, go ahead, dig in there, man.
Yeah.
But I've never done that with anybody else. And I found ever since then, I've been looking more deeply into people's eyes. So I know I'm not making you uncomfortable, but there's just, and also I feel like I found that I can comfort people. I can see people who are really uncomfortable with eye contact, and there's challenging eye contact, and then there's very soft and caring eye contact.
What's challenging?
I mean, challenging eye contact, we all see that every day. It's people who are like,
oh, yeah.
Like looking at you like, hey, man, look at me or whatever. And then there's the kind of eye contact. When you do make a
safe eye contact's over here.
I can send you a message immediately of I'm safe for you. You can look at me and it's okay.
It's a safety thing for sure. I've been doing it ever since I was little. I think don't perceive me, don't look at me, don't find anything in there.
What are you afraid people will see?
Oh, man. I don't know. That's a great question. Something bad. Something wicked. Something about my childhood.
Like something that happened to you, or something that you feel like is in you. Like
something that happened to me. I think I'm just used to kind of like, I had a pretty gnarly dad, and I think just when I start getting into it, like I don't cry that often, so it's a shield. I'm like, if people looking into my eyes, it's just like, they'll find out about all of that, and a lot of it's not good, and makes me look a certain way.
It makes you look a certain way, like of how you were when you were a kid. Like you're not a bad,
I think
you're not a bad adult, are you?
No, it makes me look like it makes people feel. It's like if I got cancer, I wouldn't tell anybody.
Right. I would tell everybody. I tell people when I think I have cancer.
I think it's so like Norm Macdonald got cancer and he didn't tell anyone. He just died one day. And Nora Ephron, who's my hero, the same thing happened. Right. I just I am weird about it. I'm just like, I'm as open as I can be, but then I get into it and then I'm like, oh, but so many other people have had it so much worse. And like, I feel like I'm complaining. I mean, it was just like brutal, narcissistic, like manipulative, verbal abuse, like locked me in a room and sat me down and made me feel like, would question me when I was like 5 years old about thoughts and opinions that I had. Right. And, one time I said that I was embarrassed by him, and he was so outraged. I was 5, and he like sat me in a room and interrogated me about what that meant for like 6 hours. So it's like taking just like... always second guessing, and I'm again like, was he physical a couple times, but it was more that it was more like this mental fuckery that he just did starting very young. So I think that's part of it,
and it's sheer projection, right? Like putting you in a room and interrogating you because of a feeling you had about him.
Yes.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Kind of been there.
adopted, so.
Oh.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah. I don't know. Both my parents are adopted, so I always am like, they just didn't really know. But yeah, he was brutal. Narcissistic personality disorder, and just didn't have any tools. And I would go there for the summers for 3 months, stuck with him.
Yeah.
And so I think
And he's gone now, right?
he's dead.
He's
Yeah.
passed, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things that's ever happened to me, by the way.
Him
your
dying?
Dad,
Yeah.
Your dad
Like
dying.
the way he died?
Just everything about the experience was, I don't know. First of all,
I could use a
sounds
good laugh.
hilarious. Yeah.
okay. Yes. No, it's just when somebody dies, and you know somebody that has someone die, no one knows how to treat you. So everybody is like, says things like my condolences, and they'll be like your best friend, and you'll be like, why are you talking like that to me? Also, like if a phone call, you get a phone call from someone being like, hey, you've won a free blah, blah, blah. And you're like, my dad just died. Like listening to the reaction is really funny. I would
It's
say
a get out of any situation free card.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So when I had to go to Albuquerque to take care of it, and we got to the hotel, the woman at the desk was like, what brings you to Albuquerque? And then you tell her, and I don't know. That's just, there's so many funny parts. One of them being that the funeral home that we picked, no one tells you what to do when someone dies. The funeral home that we picked, I couldn't afford anything, was called Affordable Funeral Homes.
That is funny.
Death on a budget.
And guess what? They put that on the death certificate. So
What?
now
the name of
the name of
So that's forever.
yeah, so
It's
forever.
documented. Yeah.
So forever, everybody knows that I'm a cheap daughter, and I went to the cheapest place. Also, when I was driving in, there were two guys doing meth together in a truck right next to it, which is like very Albuquerque, I guess. So I was just like, this is hilarious. And then we went in and we talked about my dad, and they were like, well, because of his size, he was getting cremated. They were like,
Wait, his size.
So was
he
he big or
he
small?
was large.
Obese
He
man?
was a larger man. Yeah.
Okay.
A larger man. Okay.
He kind of, he was larger. He was obese.
Yeah.
They were like, it's going to take a little extra time.
Right.
And so it's going to be an extra $300 on
They
top.
had to flame him twice.
No, she literally,
It takes time to render
she
the fact.
literally said to me, she faced me. We were sitting there and she goes, it's going to take all day.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
He was like a 12-pound turkey.
yeah, right? Like usually we could put a
24-pounder,
couple
yeah.
people in after, and I was like, first of all, I couldn't speak. I was full of just sadness, but also shock that it was going to cost an extra 200 whatever. So things like that, like they just don't tell you, you know, like,
Right.
And I think I spent like $6,000.
Oh yeah, no, it's hard. It's expensive when someone dies.
I had to go through my dad's apartment while we were going through. Like he had this kind of wiry little neighbor that came in and was like, "What are you guys doing with the TV?" Like after being like, "I'm so sorry about your dad," and he was a great man. We used to eat Panera. He'd be like, "What are you doing with the silverware over there?" And just hilarious things like that. I don't know how to explain it, but death in general just makes me laugh because it's this uncomfortable thing where people kind of feign their sincerity and then they're back to just being humans.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I think it's true that there are the people that reach out. I'm like one of those guys that's like, no matter what, I'm going to reach out because I don't care if it's uncomfortable.
Yes.
But I still don't know what to say. I usually am like, hey, I'm here for you if you need anything. But then there's the people that just disappear. The people that you thought would be there, that are like, they're so uncomfortable with the thought of
they're like, I'll just leave them alone. They'll be fine. They just don't want,
or they probably need space, you know?
Exactly.
And it's easy to think that. Yeah. That is a thought often, but really that's just a cop out, I think, where you're like, oh, I don't want there to be an uncomfortable interaction.
Yeah. Or sometimes I feel like, well, they're being inundated right now. People, you know, and it's most of it. And having just lost a parent, it's so much of it is like, you know, it's not insincere, but it's just rote.
Your dad?
Not, no. My mom, well, it's a year and a half ago. Yeah. Yo, thank you. Yeah.
Oh, I felt like it just happened and I was really worried.
No, that would be funny.
You're right.
Yeah.
I feel like around having a baby, that's cool. Give them 2 weeks.
Right.
You know, you don't have to be like, hey, congrats, you had a baby, unless they send you a picture. Because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Once you have a baby, it's not sleeping, you're cry. You're dealing with all this newness, and then people are like, hey, and they want a little bit from you as well.
Yeah.
You can give people space around that, but around death, I think you should like pretty timely.
Yeah.
you should get in there and say, hey, I'm here if you need anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, so many flowers. And
Oh, yeah.
such a funny thing to give somebody, a thing that dies within a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had so many flowers. Someone sent me like a big like thing of pasta, like dry pasta and like sausage. And I was like,
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, the food stuff.
Yeah.
Food. Send me food.
Yeah, I never thought about the like weird metaphor with like sending someone flowers.
Yeah.
All these other things that are dying.
Look at this beautiful, beautiful thing that's
currently dying.
Yeah.
It's already
you will
dead,
have to deal
actually.
with its death in a week. Whoa, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Ruined flowers for you.
It's okay. Oh, everyone's getting me flowers all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, was there any surprising feelings that came up around your dad's death?
Yeah.
Like were you like, oh,
Relieved.
relieved? That was a surprise to you?
How long ago was this?
Well, 2020.
Oh, okay. So not that long, but
Not that long, but like
long enough.
Yeah, it was weird. There's a lot of relief. It was also, I only listened to comedy podcasts. It's how I got into comedy podcast producing, is because it was the only thing I could listen to without, I couldn't listen to like self-help or any of that shit because it was like, it just wasn't helping. And it made me realize that I used comedy as like a
Shield?
a shield. And it really helped me. Like I listened to all of them, and then a lot of times people would come on and talk about their dad dying, and it would be the same feeling that I would have, which was mostly like that was the funniest shit that I've ever been through, while also being tragic. Relief. I didn't have to, are you proud of me now, Dad? That was gone.
So you did, you had that programming in you of like, you wanted approval from your dad, even though he treated you so badly.
Still do.
Yeah.
Still hope for it.
Well, I think you have it now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, that's what I meant by surprising. Like if it's the death of someone who you're like relieved that they're dead, the surprising things that come up, I was wondering if you had any like you were actually remiss, or you were sad, or you wished you had been able to connect with him in a different way, or was there anything that kind of shocked you? Were like, why am I feeling that for this piece of shit? Sorry.
No, there was a lot of that because I really did look up to him. Something interesting was like, what do I live for now?
Wow.
Yeah, like who am I? I remember the owner of Tom's talked about this, how he didn't know how to handle it after his dad died. I'm not comparing myself to him, but this feeling of like, you're always just you're never going to make them happy, please them, but you're always trying to. So when they're dead, it's like, what's the point of anything?
Well, can't you now try to please your mom?
My mom was pleased when I friggin' came out of her.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
that's it. That's all
she loves me so much for everything that now it has to be about yourself and all that bullshit.
Right. Tyler, I feel like one of these days it could happen for me that I could have a hot babe at my apartment.
Yeah.
And maybe with some romance in the air.
Yeah.
And you know the first thing I would do?
Candle.
That's
exactly
it. Yeah, you candle. I would light one of these Night Blooms candles that we have here on set. In fact, they're our signature "I love you so much" scent.
Ambiance is everything.
Oh, it totally is.
Yeah. The warm glow cast from a candle. I mean, it's unbeatable.
And I'm going to be able to sit there and seem very virtuous as well, because I'll be able to say to the hot babe, look, these are handcrafted. These are non-toxic. These are safe for pets.
1%
and
for the planet.
1% to the planet. Making out with me basically helps save the world. I mean,
we got to making out already. I love it. We're at first base.
When you light the candles, I mean, you're going to do it.
Optimism.
So look, you can go to nightbloomsgoods.com, use the code ILYSM, and you're going to get 20% off your entire order.
ILYSM 20.
ILYSM 20 at nightbloomsgoods.com. If you want the special collab candle, the I Love You So Much candle, which is a enticing blend of santal and yuzu blossom, you can check that out exclusively in our merch store, ILYSMpod.com. Tyler, I love our Patreon community.
Me too.
It's so fun. We're having good conversations. We are getting in there, having behind the scenes footage, kind of showing different sides of us. In fact, we were talking with part of the staff here at Tiny Legends today, and they were saying it's a really good place to unleash your anxiety. So whenever we're feeling...
We're going to get creative on there.
Whenever we're feeling like nervous about the show, we can just tape a little selfie video and then we can post it on our Patreon.
If you have a lot of money and you want to support us, we would really appreciate it. You get that top tier button, but also you get a weekly shout out on the show. So it's a little bonus.
And we are absolutely cobbling this thing together. So the support of our listeners and viewers is so important to keep the show going. We want to continue having these conversations, continue having these guests come in. I think we have actually a good show. I'm really proud of it. And we're so appreciative of everyone listening. And so if you want to help support, join our community, be a part of it. It's patreon.com/ILYSM ILYSM pod. ILYSM pod.
That's it.
Come on in.
Yeah. I have a complicated, we've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
My dad has never been like withholding about how he loves me, you know, like there's things when I was younger that I have issue with, but like the thing with my dad was that I knew that he never thought that I should follow this path of acting.
Totally.
He was like, look, you need to go to college. You need to get an education. This is like a pipe dream.
Yeah.
If it works out, great, but it's probably not going to. And it wasn't like he was like crushing my dream, but he definitely was like, hey man, be
Have
practical.
A fallback plan.
Yeah. And as a result, he just never really said to me like, hey, I'm really proud of you, or like, I'm proud of what you've done or what you've accomplished, until very recently he said something like that. And again, I don't think it was withholding intentionally. He wasn't like trying to manipulate me or motivate me. I just think he was kind of like, yeah, whatever. So as a result, I realized like, I picked an industry that I'm constantly seeking its approval from.
Totally.
The industry is a dad.
Yeah.
It's like a dad that I'm like, hey, am I good enough? Do you love me? Am I cool?
Would.
Give me some love. Give me a hug, dad. And it doesn't. And I'm like, oh, more rejection. And I feed off of it.
Totally.
So I understand that, like, what do I live for now? It's like, yeah, I mean, even if it's like
winning daddy would.
Stockholm syndrome, you know, like people who get freed from their captor and they're like, oh my God, what do I do now?
Yeah.
It's like, your narrative becomes so myopic, you know what I mean? About this one thing, like you kind of pursue this one thing for life and then it's gone, but it's not.
It's
just because he's gone.
Well, then you find it in something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you'll probably never get it regardless. I mean, I don't know. So
no, definitely not. Yeah. Well, don't say that, Reed.
With my dad, ultimately, I think he's pretty chill about stuff. I think, there's definitely probably a little bit of like, well, let's be practical. But I didn't feel a lot of pressure to not, and I've always kind of had this nebulous, like, what am I doing with my life? Am I trying to be an artist? Am I trying to be a writer? Am I trying to be a filmmaker? And then I had this, last 10 years having like an actual business, then he'll say, well, how's business going? But there's never like, oh, I'm really proud of you for doing that. But I think he said that when I was filming my movie. I think he had a moment where he was, oh, I'm really proud of you. And,
Did you feel it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was, I guess so.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's like my mission in life was to make my dad proud, necessarily. Of course, I want to. Of course, I want his approval. And I feel like I have it. But he's also not super explicit in his feelings all the time. Yeah. So it's not something that just we talk about.
Do you think your kids look to you that way?
I mean, I think kids all kind of look at their parents.
No, but specifically
dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like looking for approval and for me to be proud. I think it's just just part of it's baked into the cake. You know what I mean?
A lot of pressure.
And then there's the thing too, where you like, there's a line to walk there. I want them to know that I'm proud of them. So I tell them, I'm proud of you. But then you also don't want them to become reliant for external validation for everything, right? It's like the good jobbing a kid to death. Like, oh, great job with that. Good job with that. They start looking immediately for validation instead of going like, what do I think of this? Do I like this?
Yeah.
It is a tricky line. Like I want my kids to feel safe and comforted and know that I'm proud of them. I love them. But I also want them to just feel that in their bones, not that it has to be like vocalized all the time.
Hell yeah.
But then it's like, what if no matter what, our kids are going to grow up and be like, my dad was
a fucking
this or whatever.
There's a whole podcast about him.
I'm sure my dad never thought I'd be like talking about the ways he fit, because he did so many things well as well,
right.
But
totally.
you just end up with things that shape you as a person that they couldn't anticipate. So I know as a dad that I have shortcomings, which is like, it's part of the gig. Yeah. But the pride, like having my children seek my approval and for me to be proud, I know that's just, it's like totally baked in there. And I have to make an extra effort to let them know how proud I am of them without overdoing it. Yeah. So that's where.
Well, and I think that the times when my daughter gets the most upset is when she feels like she's disappointed me.
Oh, and,
of just where there's an interaction and then it feels, oh, you just think I'm terrible, and it's like, then that's when she gets really, really upset.
And you say, I do, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. I say, no, you are not terrible. But we can work on picking up our clothes off the floor.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always like unconditionally loving, and I tell her, how I feel about her all the time. And, you don't want to do too much, but at the same time, I'm like, that's what I want her to remember. It's like, I want her to be like, yeah, oh, my dad loved me no matter what. Yeah. And with the praise stuff, we always try to be like, well, I notice how much work you put into that, right?
Yeah.
Rather than, praising the effort rather than the result, right? And so you're not so results oriented as well. Because
Plus, you guys go to that
I
hippie
feel the
school.
same about her, whether she succeeds or quote unquote fails in a thing,
Yeah.
right? It's just like, and especially, but I do think it is important to try,
Do you think that first is like if second is last and first is the only thing, that kind of stuff?
Do I think that?
Ricky Bobby.
A really Ricky Bobby kind of mentality. Like if you're, or how into it, if they play sports, are you like?
My kids don't
play sports.
play sports.
Yeah.
I think largely because I'm like, I don't give a shit about sports. And my wife doesn't, my ex-wife doesn't give a shit about sports.
Okay.
There's like a level of participation I want from them.
Right.
Like they go to Muay Thai now, and they're in it. And if they're going there and they're like really not participating or they're not giving it a little bit of focus or, I'm like, well, then what are you even doing there? I will get a little bit like, hey, do you want to be here or not? Because if you don't, we can find something else. It's never like like, what are you doing in here?
Oh, it's so brutal when you hear dads like that.
Oh man, there are these are like 5 to 8 year old kids and there are dads and they're like,
You're
hey,
just like, that guy's
get your hands up, hands up. So I'm not that dad, but I definitely want my kids to feel a sense of commitment. Like if you say you're going to do a thing, you should do it.
Okay.
It's hard though. I mean, I just had an experience where my daughter was doing the junior lifeguards,
right,
which is at the ocean, and it's hardcore. And we've talked about on here where our kids go to this, and your nieces go to this very progressive school. It's about your feelings, and it's
Lots
about
of feelings.
Social emotional growth.
At junior lifeguards, literally, my daughter reported back. She's like, "Well, Dad, they're like, if you ask a dumb question, you have to do 10 push-ups."
Obsessed. I love that so much.
Dumb questions.
Yes, and you're like, oh, at our school, it's like, oh, I mean,
what's a dumb question?
There is no 10 push-ups.
No, they're literally like, there are no dumb questions.
Which I thought was great. Right, that she has that experience because not everything in life is like it is at our little bubble of a school, in our little bubble of a town, and so you want to kind of have exposure to other ways of living, and it was hard for her, and she didn't really want to finish it, and I had to be like, you have to toe this line between, it's important that she does things that are uncomfortable and hard.
Yeah.
And I know if I were in her place, I wouldn't want to do this. This seems miserable to me, man. It's like run like the military. And at the same time, I also don't need it to be the defining traumatic event of her childhood. And so you're like, where do you go? And like,
not a bad traumatic,
what?
Not a terrible traumatic experience to have as a child.
Better than abuse from your dad or something.
Yeah.
And ultimately, she didn't want to, finish it out, and we had to like kind of decide if we were okay with that. And I felt like she gave it a try, and she went into it with an open heart, and she went into it and tried her hardest. And there were just things about it that were not working for her. And so I said, it's, you gave it a good go. I think, you showed you can do it, and it's 3 weeks long, and you're not going to become a lifeguard. You're not going to become a lifeguard. That's not in the cards for you, I think. So it's like, we don't have to.
I think that's an important part of the equation too, is like, you gave it a shot. Like I'm never going to push you to finish a thing. If I can see and you can see together, we're like, this isn't working for you, or this isn't the thing for you. But it's hard to determine that sometimes, I
hate to be the one that the person that says that the opposite is true. But I'm really glad my mom forced piano on me.
Right.
I
wish someone forced piano on me.
Yeah,
exactly.
Of course.
I tried to give up on that thing so many times, and she was like, no, you're not. And it was the one thing she was psychotic about, and now I'm really glad I did. I still quit like when I was in 8th grade, but I had done it for so long. Yeah. So I don't know. But
of course,
if she does,
we get your Coldplay covers on TikTok.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. That is the narrative in my mind the whole time. When you're being a parent is when do you press the gas and when do you let it?
Exactly.
Because we all have, I wish they had forced me to learn Spanish. I wish they had forced me to, but in the moment I would have been like, fuck
to be
you.
fair,
No way, I don't want to do it.
I quit swimming and I'm thriving. So
Right.
Yeah.
I quit a lot of things. And I'm doing all
Exactly.
right.
And so I feel like when I see that she has a passion for something, like she has kind of given up a little bit on piano, but I'm like, oh, I can still see her noodling around. She really, I think, enjoys it. I really want to kind of maybe push a little to go back to piano.
Yeah.
And that's somewhere where I feel okay pushing because I also know that she has a passion for it. But again, then you don't want to push too hard to then make
Or
that
do
passion
you?
go away.
She could be the next Beethoven.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Hopefully.
a quick consensus here.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak to my experience of this so I don't blow anybody up. But my 11-year-old was in a computer coding camp for 2 weeks. Yeah, which is cool. They were like, yeah, I want to do this thing. They were really excited about it. And then I came over to my ex's house to watch my oldest and my youngest while Gabe was at camp on last Friday. And Gabe was just there on the couch watching TV on one of these camp days. And I was like, what are you doing here? Why are you not at camp? And they were like, I'm just so tired. I needed a day. I needed a break from camp. It was like a 4-hour a day camp from 9 to 1.
Yeah.
And again, there's no judgments here, but I was like, I don't think that is how that works. And they were like, well, I already finished everything anyway, so I wouldn't have anything to do. And I was like, well, I'm sure they would have come up with something for you, or maybe you can go back and refine what you've done. Yeah. And my ex and I had a talk about it where she was really upset that I had maybe even sort of intimated that Gabe should have been at camp.
Oh,
and then Gabe got weird and was like, well, okay, I'll go. Maybe I should go. And I was like, no, I was just curious about what was going on. And they got really upset and like, no, I should go. And then they started saying, well, Daddy won't let me go to camp today
Jesus
now.
Christ.
And I was like,
Parenting
Daddy, why
sounds like
won't you
such a
let
nightmare.
Gabe go to camp? And I was like, I just entered a situation and had a couple questions about it. So here's my consensus. Question.
Yeah.
My ex, and we talked about this very calmly. She was like, I just think that they are very committed to things. And like, if they need a day to stay at home, they can have a day to stay at home. And I don't want to push when I don't need to. And I was like, it's an elective camp. They wanted to go. We paid for it. And it's only 4 hours a day. And I think it could have just been like a moment of us showing them, you can do this. Like, go to do the thing. You don't need a long weekend, to like recover from your coding camp. Yeah. And she was like, well, I think you're diminishing, what the experience is like for Gabe. And maybe it was really exhausting for Gabe. And I was like, right.
He feels it.
So I don't know.
Dude, I don't know how you guys do it. Parenting sounds like a goddamn nightmare.
I really had to like step back and go, okay, what is that about? Why am I like, go, man? Go to that camp even though you're like tired.
What's the consent? So the question
what would you guys do?
Well, that's the thing is, and I think there's a similar dynamic where I'm much more like, no, we're in camp. We paid for it. We're going. We're going to camp. Yeah. And then I think my ex is a little bit more like, you could use a home day. And maybe it's like to really the nurturing mother versus the pushing father or whatever. And so I think trying to find that happy medium is it can be tricky. But in a way, it's good because I think sometimes I do push too hard. So I think it is okay to have home days sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, on a 4-hour camp, I mean, it's just a little like, and it's only a week. You're like, well, you're missing 20% of it if you don't go today. And so it's.
How long was the camp? I'm going to ask some follow-up questions.
2 weeks. And 4 hours a day.
Okay.
And only Monday to Friday, not on the weekends.
Okay. Expensive?
Yeah. Not very, but enough that I was like.
Camps are, everything's expensive.
Okay. So that's 10 days. 1 out of the 10, they're not going in.
Yeah. It's 10%.
That's 10%. Thank you, Reed. I knew that. I think I right now, without seeing the child, I would be like, go to fucking.
Of course you would. Yeah, I knew you would say
but
that. Yeah.
No. But if they were in front of me and they were puppy-eyeing me and they were giving me a cute little story and they were like, it's just, I'm tired and mentally I can't do this, I would probably be like, watch Mary Poppins.
Yeah. Or even just by your estimation, you're like, you do look tired.
Yeah, you do look tired.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with my ex's decision. She it's her days and but I just was curious about it. Yeah. And I got this.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
You saying I'm just curious about it, that would annoy me.
Yeah.
Because I would be like, curious, you mean you're wondering why I made this decision?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm busted. I was more than curious. I was frustrated.
You were frustrated.
But I want to use language around it that isn't inflammatory. You know what I mean? But maybe it's more inflammatory.
Well, yeah, but it is. But it's like saying, "Oh, well, I'm just asking questions here. I'm just, just asking questions."
The thing that made me feel the worst is that Gabe started to feel this pressure from me.
Yeah, right.
And then got like really,
kind
of like down on themselves, and they're like, "Maybe I should go. I know I really want to go. Oh, I do want to go." And I was like, "Oh man, my curiosity, was really not curiosity."
And then it caused tension between you and your ex.
We worked that out, but I think that like. I'll read what you just said was really kernel of the whole thing is like the gender normative sort of like pushy father and the nurturing mother.
Yeah.
It is like the new, what we're trying to do is be these newer, better versions of that as dads. And like sometimes that kicks in me and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Where did that I know where it came from, but it doesn't feel like me talking. I'll say something. I'm like, that was programming. That is something that came through me as opposed to from me. Yeah. Like, because I said so. Like shit like that where you're like, I said I would never say that.
Yeah.
But in situations like that, I really don't know sometimes. I'm like, what is where's the line of like, is this just me being typically male?
Yeah.
Is that sexist to say? Is that like...
I don't know, but I kind of have the personality thing too, where it's like, well, if you say you're going to do something, you need to do that. Right. And not that I always live up to that myself.
Right.
Like, it's like you made a commitment to go to the coding camp. So go to the coding camp.
Yeah.
But then, of course, I just let my daughter not go to junior lifeguards. So I was like, I don't know if I can know.
But it was a discussion between you two.
Yeah.
That's where it gets difficult for me. As I'm like, I wasn't involved in a discussion about this.
Well, and I think it really was like, it was day to day. Because I think it was like, okay, it's not that I'm going to quit. It's like, am I going to go on this next day? And I think she ended up back with me for the weekend. And my ex and I had talked about it. It's like, well, let's just kind of not pressure. And just as we build up, just, how you feeling about junior guards tomorrow? That kind of thing. And honestly, the torture in her soul about going back was so apparent that I was just like, I can't push this. I don't want to. It's like, I don't need her to have like, to live in comfort 100% of the time. But it was just like, what's the risk reward here? What is the reward if she goes? I just don't like, she's miserable.
Yeah.
And I know if I'm in a military type situation like that, it's like, it makes my skin crawl. I get hives thinking about it, right? So it's like, why am I going to force her to do this? But because she also needs to know that she doesn't want to enlist in the military.
Right.
This is interesting because my brother has the opposite dynamic with his wife and their kids. Like they're little fuckers. They're so smart and they try to get out of going to school in any.
Oh yeah.
Holy. Yeah. That should be studied. How like the coughing starts the night before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My kids are geniuses.
Like literally a play. Yeah. And my brother's like, I think she might be sick. And my sister-in-law is like, no, she's going to school.
Yeah.
And I think too, like I don't have a partner, but eventually it would probably make sense if I had more of someone similar. And like I was kind of the more tough person and the other person was a little more like
softy.
I just think that's interesting too, that dynamic shift, which is like going back to what you said about this thing in you that's like, I have to be the man. And
And then you inspect it more and you're like, I don't really know what that means. I don't know. It doesn't feel authentic to me.
Yeah. So maybe you guys are supposed to be the soft.
Maybe we're supposed to be the soft ones. I do want to say one thing too about, I staying curious about these things. I did discover a thing about the dynamic with my ex that I hadn't before, which was purely based on assumption. I was like, you wouldn't do, if the shoe was on the other foot and I kept Gabe home, you would probably be like, what are you doing? Why didn't we talk about this? And she was like, no, I absolutely wouldn't. I trust your decisions in your house. And I was like, at first I was like, no, that's something you say. And she was like, no, I genuinely, and I was like, I need to give you more credit. I need to give you the benefit of the doubt that like I'm allowed to. And then I was like, I think I do that a lot. I make decisions in my house based on whether or not I think she's going to be okay with it. And I think what she's saying is like, you do it. You be the parent you want to be. And I need to trust that. And that was like a big moment for me of being like, oh shit, I guess I put that limiting belief in there of like, oh, I can't possibly make the decisions without checking in with you. And she's like, fucking do it, man. Go make the decisions and I'll be okay with it. And I was like, whoa. She does that to me a lot where I'm like, oh, you're cool.
Thank you for that teachable moment.
Parenting.
Parenting, man. What do you do with Jerry?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we got a girl with the kidless girl. So what's it like with your golden retriever?
Well, I do. Can we talk about work a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so you produce Trash Tuesday,
Yes.
which many of our listeners might be familiar with it, but it's a great show.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. But what I find interesting is that that is like a babe show. That is like ladies, and it feels like very feminine, right? Like in it,
we have so many guy listeners, but yes,
yeah, right. But I think on its face, right? You look at it, it's like, oh, this is a show for chicks, and if you want, like, I enjoy the show. It's not, obviously, And so now you are producing this show, which is very male, but I know we have a lot of female listeners too. But just in terms of just the gender of the hosts and kind of the topics that are coming up, is like, was that an intentional thing for you, or just kind of like, or what's
like the contrast?
I mean, I don't know what my question I guess is, but I was just more setting the stage for.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I didn't want to be pigeonholed as the producer that just worked with women. First of all, we're coming into this point where like gender's becoming a little fluid and people are trying to figure out. For me, I feel like Trash Tuesday and I Love You So Much could have a lot of overlap in a way that maybe not so many people could see, where it's like these women who are talking about things that they don't traditionally talk about, like their periods or smelling bad or I don't know, all these
they're
disgusting,
a little raunchy. Yeah,
raunchy, right? They're called raunchy, but it's really just them talking about like pooping and constipation. And guy always gives me a hard time about the constipation clips that I have, but I'm like, but it's relatable to women,
right?
And it is sort of this more guy thing. And then you guys are over here talking about more traditional female topics, and so I think the two are weirdly kind of
diagram has a big overlap. Yeah.
And I think like we always talk about gender as in like physical, like looks and everything, but I also think it's also in here, right? Like it's this mindset we have. And I think that is really resonating with people. So that's why I said this when we launched how it's like a great way to have empathy for one another, to understand where the other's coming from. But like, there's differences, right? Like, there's a lot of comments about how we're disgusting sluts.
Oh man!
Or that's kind of what because the reaction to our show online is, I think, very different than
Why
trash.
couldn't it just be disgusting people? Why do you have to be sluts?
My favorite is, let's call the show Old Hags.
Oh boy!
No, but I think that comes with it. First of all, if you have comedy and women, there's always going to be that. Guys have incels have a hard time with that for whatever reason, especially if they're attractive and all this other stuff. And they're like, why isn't there's a huge like, why aren't I there? Why isn't that me?
Yeah,
right.
I deal with that. And then, the easiest fruit to pick is like, you're disgusting. You don't wash your face. You're shit.
Yeah, your armpits stink.
Yeah. And meanwhile, they're watching like Joe Rogan or whatever.
Right.
Be like,
Broadcast.
I like it weirdly because it's just like going against the norm and making people really uncomfortable, which I enjoy.
Yeah, in a way that's kind of the goal, right? Is like disruption.
Disruption.
Like, fuck you guys. We can do this. Yeah, we can be disgusting. I don't care about your opinion. Yeah.
Like when I was younger, we had to hide periods. We had to hide like moods. We had to like none of that happened. Burped, farting, all that stuff. And I'm not saying everyone should go around and be like, bleh, but like, why? And then, not to make this a feminist thing, but like if men had their periods every month, like, fuck, it's all we'd be, you guys would be like, I'm bleeding out the ass today, this month. And like, it would be a whole thing. And we had to like hide it. And it's just kind of figuring out ways to normalize things that we used to have to hide, both for men and for women. And I think both podcasts do that. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, well, I don't really. The question was very nebulous, so sure. It was like,
but like, I find them similar.
Yeah.
In that way, because I also know we have a lot of guy fans on. Like, you would be surprised by the percentage of male slugs, we call them, of Trash Tuesday. Some of them just so they can see like the female perspective, but also because, I don't know, it's becoming okay to think women are funny.
Yeah.
And then women
love female comics.
Yeah. I remember like back when Twitter was funny, I like almost like all the comics I followed were women, and that just kind of happened naturally. It was just like I resonated more with the humor, and like so many of the guys were just like caustic and assholes, and like I followed Esther forever back then.
Genius.
Yeah, she's so
really funny. I have a question.
Okay.
They're moving into something else now.
Oh, okay.
But adjacent.
Okay.
Right. This is something that's come up for me a couple times, and I want your opinion. I don't want to put you on blast, Reed. How do we feel about the usage of the term babes and chicks? I've noticed that you refer to women as babes a lot. And you just said you just refer to them as chicks as well. And for
did I say chicks?
Yeah. Let's check the tape.
It's like, oh, this is a show for chicks.
Yeah, you said
that's
chicks.
not a word I typically use, but I'm not denying I said it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I haven't noticed the pattern with that, but like I have a couple times been like, don't say babes. Am I wrong calling women babes, hot babes and stuff? And I sort of have that feeling of like, oh, is that? Do we do that? Is that okay to just say?
It's funny. Hot babes? Before you chime in, because now I'm back. I was like, oh yeah, I want to meet like hot babes. You know?
Yeah.
Like
you put it in a couple of our ads, like about the candles. Like, I got a hot babe. I got a hot babe over at my house, and we're making out. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
Call them.
Well, but I've had other women be like, oh, it's so cute that you call us hot babes. Okay. So I've had that feedback, but I'm actually curious to hear, because if it is problematic, I don't want to say that, right? So
I don't know. I mean, it bumps for me. But I wanted a female perspective on that. Does that ever bump for you?
And there's
referring to women as hot babes,
in the room,
or is it cute?
Well, I mean, there is a feeling of creepness that I don't get from either of you.
Yeah.
Right.
And so if I was feeling the creepiness, we call it like creepy. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but you can always tell.
Yeah. And I don't think Reed has it.
And you both don't have this, thank God.
Right.
Or I wouldn't be working with you. But like, if that guy is going around being like, oh, baby,
right.
Like, no. But you don't do that.
Right. So no, I think you do. I think you can get, if you're a certain person, you can get away with language that other people can't get away with.
Yes, exactly.
Like I've worked with some older Hollywood actor types, and when they say things like that, it is fucking creepy as shit. And everybody feels it, right? And I'm like, I figured you get away with it. You're a very charming, sweet human being. But I was like, I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, my therapist talks about it a lot, because as a woman who works in business, like there's a creep feeling that I get.
Yeah.
And
like a sense that
like an
goes
instinct.
off, right?
And as soon as I feel it, and it's someone I'm working with, either me or my agent is like, we're not working with this person, because you just know.
I think women are very intuitive and have been taught to shut it off, right?
Yes.
Just deal with it. It's not,
There's
it's you, you're being crazy. You're just, you just think that you're imagining things. Like my ex, her intuition about people was 100% accurate. And I ended up in like a situation where I got conned. I got like an actual con man conned me. And from the beginning and it was a long con. It was like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And from the beginning, she was like, this dude is like, this is all bullshit, you know? And I was just like, oh, come on. And then it like all through my life, people that have come in there, she's like, this person's bad. This person has this, you know, intent or whatever. And I definitely was like, no. And one of my biggest regrets through our divorce was that I made her question her intuition, you know, or the fact that I lied to her so much that I made her question her intuition about me.
That's what really will make you crazy.
I like robbed her of that. One of her biggest gifts and skills. I felt really bad about ever trying to minimize that. It's weird to like acknowledge like you're sort of contributing to taking something away from somebody.
No, but I mean, by the way, I am still conned every day, so I'm not like over here like.
Man, I'm an easy con.
I'm the same way, but I don't
gullible, man.
But you won't creep on me. So there's like a level of. But if you're like a poor kid from somewhere and you're trying to sell me chocolates, and
you'll do it. Chickle. I'll buy some chickles from you in Mexico. Yeah. All right, I have another question. So this is a little bit of a plug. My movie that I shot in Sweden got into TIFF today.
Hey,
we got announced. It was in Deadline. Thank you. And we got into Thank you.
Let's put that
International Film Festival.
The Toronto International Film Festival, one of the biggest in the world, if not the biggest. In this film, and this happened while I was shooting it. One of the directors is female, Pella. They wrote me a real creepy, like disgusting role. It's basically Gavin McGinnis, the founder of the Proud Boys and Vice magazine. Yeah, and,
my hero.
And it's based on him, but I'm not doing an impression of Gavin. It's just like a drug-addled, booze-fueled, manipulative creep. While we were shooting it, I had to go to these really dark places and like get really kind of okay with being disgusting. On a number of occasions, Pella would come up to me after I'd do like the most disgusting scene. She'd be like, oh my God, that was so hot. I know I'm not supposed to say this. That's so hot. And I was like, oh, weird Swedish director. But also I was like, great, it's working. And then I showed it to a few of my female friends, even my partner, and they were all both like, "You're so hot doing that. It's
so
really
real.
hot. You're so great." I literally do the most disgusting
So
things.
real.
And everyone I've showed it to, females have been like, "It's really hot."
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no. If I was a man, this would drive me fucking crazy about women.
I'm sitting here going crazy right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a creep.
Yeah, it's the
I
same
don't want
thing.
like
It's
permission to be
like
creepy.
you don't want the nice guy.
Right.
Like it's the same.
You're talking about the negging too, right?
Yes,
Like it's in that
yes.
same vein.
I think the more mature you get, well, I guess, I don't know. The more good with yourself, the more healed.
Yeah.
When I was 20, I dated a conservative guy whose whole family like hated me, and I'm Japanese, and it was like hot to be with sort of, it's like colonizing. It's like, I don't know, there's something weird in us that's like, we like being hated. But the more that I kind of get older, I'm just like, it's exhausting. And I understand what those women are saying.
Yeah, can you explain that a little bit? Like, is it the like recklessness of it? Is it the?
They don't want to be in it, but they like looking at it.
Well, they made that very clear. They're like, this is not what I would want. But
Yeah, it's
the
like true crime.
fantasy of it.
Yeah.
It's like true crime in that way, where it's like we like to look at it and fantasize and like think about it, but we don't want to be in that.
But do you feel like the it's true for us too? Like, do you find like people in the Trump administration hot?
No, but I did find.
Don't lie.
I found Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct very attractive, and she just wanted to kill people.
Right.
She wanted to.
There was some hot girls. Who was the girl?
In the Trump administration?
Yeah.
There's quote unquote pretty women, but I don't feel like I'm not
attracted to their disgustingness.
Yeah, no, but I'm not like, oh yeah, I'd really, I hate them.
What about Megyn Kelly? Back.
I feel like the evil shows through.
Yeah, I don't have a thing of like, a hate fuck or whatever. It's like I don't.
Yes, that's true. That isn't the same for women.
It's not. I mean, I guess there's like we kind of want like a freak.
Okay, how about this?
Want like a raunchy.
The movie Gone Girl.
Yeah.
Do you think that character's hot?
Rosamund Pike?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 Crazy is hot.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
That is a thing. For
Well,
guys.
and I think
Crazy can be hot.
bitchy
I don't
can
want
be
to say
hot,
crazy.
too.
I'm sorry. Unstable.
I'm getting pointed at.
No, I'm just saying, like, I think that's the same thing,
Crazy
weirdly.
being hot?
Right.
Yeah, where it's like, you guys want that crazy a little bit.
You want a
Yes.
lady in the streets, but a
Yes.
freak in the bed, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty classic.
But,
guy.
like, she kills people.
Right. Yeah, like Sharon
But as
Stone,
long as she doesn't
I would
kill
let her
me.
murder me with a pickaxe. You know what I mean? Like I was like Michael Douglas in that film.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if I get this for even another day, I'll put up with not knowing whether you're going to murder me or not.
Yeah.
She's
so
that
you
hot.
guys have that too.
Yeah, Sharon Stone though. I mean, come on.
But you're saying, but this character is a misogynist.
Like, yeah, he's crazy too, but it's like the fucking rampant misogyny and he basically my character basically raped somebody in the film.
There is something to be said for I
basically,
can
it's-
change him.
Right. Yeah, right.
And maybe it's you too, Chad.
project.
You put a little
Yeah.
sauce.
Well, that's my partner said that
You're
too.
so nice.
She's like, there's something about you and
There's
your
a dark
face
side.
Right.
that when you play dark, you're still very likable. And I was like,
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of a
Well,
thing.
yeah, and I wonder if it's all these people that have seen it know you personally as well. So
Yeah,
I
they
wonder
do.
if someone who doesn't know you is going to
Yeah.
find it as hot.
Well, yeah, that's
Very
a good
good
question.
point.
And I also know that a lot of my fans who I have gained from New Amsterdam, they really don't like it when they see any other side other than like the soft, caring, nurturing psychiatrist doctor, right? So they see anything else and they're just like, ew. So it'll be interesting to see what people think of this turn. But then I've been playing bad guys a lot lately. I've been playing all the roles I've been playing are bad guys.
cool.
Yeah, like not just bad, but sexy bad, like kind of like that's the no. I mean, it's the thing they want. Like I asked these directors, not that we're going to talk about this forever, but I asked the directors when they hired me. I was like, why did you decide to cast me? And they were like, from New Amsterdam. And I was like, what the fuck? And they're like, well, we just saw something in you.
We saw in darkness in you.
That would be fun to. Like the juxtaposition of what you look like and what you can play as an actor is really fun.
That
to
just
play
means that you're multi-faceted.
Yeah.
Which means you're a good
Well,
actor.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
What's it called?
The Egghead Republic.
Nice.
Yeah.
The guy in the control room said you're the guy who lit monkeys on fire in Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Well, no. I was Planet. I was a Patient X. I was the one they made me kill all the apes.
Wait,
in
I
Planet
love
of the
those
Apes.
movies. I didn't know that.
I'm in the original reboot with James Franco. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Before it went crazy.
You've been working with this guy for so long.
cannot
You don't
believe
even know.
it.
I weighed almost 300 pounds. I looked very different.
Yeah, maybe that's it. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stella. Thank you for doing this, and
Yeah.
thank you for everything.
Well,
Yeah.
thank
We
you so
wouldn't
much.
be here without you
Aw.
and Guy and everyone else. And it's been a pleasure so far. And
Yeah.
we're keeping going. It's not like we're not wrapping up here,
It's
but
the last episode.
Yeah,
so.
this is the
That's it, guys. Yeah, we went out with a bang.
so thank you to Tiny Legends, and thank you, of course,
Thank you, guys.
to
Thank you,
our
guys.
audience.
Yeah.
We really appreciate everyone who's watching us, listening to us. Man, that's the best, actually,
Yeah.
is the feedback we get from our audience. So
Absolutely.
thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Love you so much.
Love you so much.
We love you so much.